The ongoing threats posed by U.S. tariffs on the Canadian economy have caused many Canadians to reconsider the need for national oil pipelines and other major resource projects. The United States is Canada's most significant trading partner, and the two countries have enjoyed over a century of peaceful commerce and good relations. However, new tariffs and increasingly hostile rhetoric has made Canadians realize they should not be taking these good relations for granted. Traditional opposition to energy development has given way to a renewed focus on energy security and domestic self-reliance. Over the last decade, Canadian energy producers have sought to build pipelines to move oil from landlocked Alberta to Tidewater, aiming to reduce reliance on U.S. markets and expand exports internationally. Canada's dependence on the U.S. for energy exports has long affected the prices it can obtain. A shift is evident in Quebec. Historically, Quebec politicians and environmental interests have vehemently opposed oil and gas development. With an abundance of hydroelectric power, imported oil and gas, and little fossil fuel production, the province has had fewer economic incentives to support the industry. However, recent polling suggests attitudes are changing. A Somme La Presse poll in February found that about 60% of Quebec residents support reviving the Energy East pipeline project, and 61% favor restarting the GNL Quebec natural gas pipeline project, a proposed LNG facility near Saguenay that would export liquefied natural gas to global markets. While support for these projects remains stronger in other parts of the country, this represents a substantial shift in Quebec. Despite this change in public opinion, Quebec politicians at provincial and federal levels remain out of step. The Montreal Economic Institute, a nonpartisan think tank, has documented this disconnect for years. It has two main causes. Quebec politicians tend to reflect the perspectives of a Montreal-based Laurentian elite rather than broader provincial sentiment, and entrenched interests such as Hydro-Quebec benefit from limiting competition under the guise of environmental concerns. Not only have Quebec politicians misrepresented public opinion, they have also claimed to speak for the entire province on energy issues. Premier François Legault and Bloc Québécois leader Yves-François Blanchet have argued that pipeline projects lack social license from Quebecers. However, the reality is that the federal government does not need any special license to build oil and gas infrastructure that crosses provincial borders. Under the Constitution, only the federal parliament has jurisdiction over national pipeline and energy projects. Despite this authority, no federal government has been willing to impose such a project on a province. Quebec's history of resisting federal intervention makes this a politically delicate issue. There is also a broader electoral consideration. While it is possible to form a federal government without winning Quebec, its many seats make it a crucial battleground. In a bilingual country, a government that claims to speak for all Canadians benefits from having a presence in Quebec. Ottawa could impose a national pipeline, but it doesn't have to. New polling data from Quebec and across Canada suggest Canadians increasingly support projects that enhance energy security and reduce reliance on the United States. The federal government needs to stop speaking only to politicians, especially in Quebec, and take its case directly to the people. With a federal election ahead, politicians of all parties should put national pipelines and natural gas projects on the ballot.